Hey, how you doing? This is John Paul from John Paul Music UK, and in this video I'm going to show you a couple of tips and tricks with the Headrush Looperboard. Hello everyone, how you doing? Hope you're well. If you've never been here before, my channel is all about music tech and looping. Please subscribe to the channel and please give this video a good old thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. The next thing I want to show you is how I route things. With the Looperboard, the routing is amazing, and what you can do is you can route pretty much anything to anywhere. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So again, this is on my patch called 001, and I'm just going to show you how I route things across. So as you can see there, I've got input 1 and input 3 going into routing number 1. We've got dry send from this, so that'll be the vocal. If I just play the guitar, 1 2 1 2, 1 2 1 2. And you can see there the difference between the two. The reason I've done this is because then the routing out, the number 1 goes out, and that will be the vocal, number 2 will be the guitar, and then number 3 and 4 the same as well. I can actually change that if I want to, so if I had a third one in, I've got another guitar in, I could put that into input number 4, and then 2 and 4 will be guitars, whereas 1 and 3 can be vocals. So now we're on the output, and you can clearly see there that output 1 and 3 have got my vocal going through, and output 2 and 4 have the guitar going through. As I say, the reason for this is to split the levels, so when it goes to a PA or a main mix or it goes to a mixer, I can mix them individually, or a sound engineer can mix them individually as well. The other thing you can do, which is really, really clever, is we could actually tell the loops to only go through a certain channel. So I could have, for example, output 1 could be my vocal, my microphone, output 2 could be the guitar, output 3 could be all the vocal loops, and output 4 could be all the guitar loops. The reason you do that is because then an engineer could mix you for front of house very, very clearly and would know what each channel is doing. The next thing I want to show you here on the Looperboard, for me on this preset, is my levels. What we've got here is we've got the levels of each track, and at the moment they're down as 0 for each one, so they're actually at 0 dB. What I've done is I've got a pedal here which, as I move up and down, you can actually see it changes the levels. Now this is the level of the loops, and I can actually put it as full. I've actually put it just below 0. And the loops are always just sitting just a little bit lower, so you can hear me while I'm performing. Just to give you a little bit of insight to this, I'm going to load another patch up. So we go to here. Let's go to Wicked Game. So we're now in Wicked Game, which is one of the tracks I do, which is the Chris Isaak track. I'm just going to hit start. I'm going to show you this, which is the volumes of everything as it's going on. This one is gonna break your heart. This one is gonna break your heart. So as you can see, I can lower it down with my foot, even while playing the guitar. So if it's too loud in a club or a pub, I can move it down just a little bit. So that way we've got full volume control of the loops just by using an expression pedal. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the function button. So when we press the function button, anything in orange that's on the Looperboard is accessible. So if we go function, the first thing we've got on the screen is length, speed, reverse, fade, transpose, peel, bounce, and clear. We can go into length, and it shows me the total loop length. So this one is 8 seconds long. I can actually change the length of that. Now what that's done is it's not changed the loops per se, but what it's done is it's doubled this over. So now it's double the length of what it normally is. If I go to length, if I go to half, it'll put it back to 8 seconds. I can halve it again, but then I'm going to start cutting part of the loop away. You can't get that back, so be very, very careful with that. The next one is speed. So now we've got Alvin and the Chipmunks singing it. We can go half again. As you notice, this is instant while it's being played. I could do this in a performance. Let's say, for example, you've got a beat and you actually have boom, 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 and you want to make that real quick. You know, so you could do it slowly, then you could 2 times it, and then it'd be a nice quick beat, and also be a lot more trebly as well. The next one is reverse, so let's play this again. Reverse is quite useful. So at the moment they're all normal. And what I like is we've got track 1 to 4, we've also got a reversal just right here underneath track 1, which isn't really nice. So we can just go like this. The other option I could do is I could just reverse maybe the beat. And again, it's instant. The next one is fade. Let me just start the loop again. So with fade, very similar. We've got the 4 tracks or fade all tracks. I've used this quite a few times at gigs. You want the loop just to fade out, which is quite nice. You've also got a fade out rate, so we could say 100%. So it's 100% of the fade of the loop. So if you've got a loop that's 8 bars, it will fade across the 8 bars. If you've got something that's 1 bar long, it will fade across the 1 bar. So some things will fade out quicker than others. So let's fade all tracks and see what happens. They go white. And that's faded out quite nicely. The next one is transpose. Transpose is very useful if you wanted to go up semitone for the next part of the song. Many songs do that. Obviously with a loop, you're just kind of stuck with the loop that's going around. Again, what we can do is we can transpose individual tracks. So you could leave the drum track completely alone and all the melodic tracks you can transpose. Let me show you what I mean. So let's go into transpose. Again, we've got transpose the different tracks, and then what we're going to do with each one. So semitone down, semitone up. So we have to select them first, and then you can go into them. So I'm going to transpose these up. And then once I've selected it, press on. What you'll notice is I've not transposed the drum track. So the drum track remains the same, and then what we can go back down by turning it off. So the next selection is peel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to record something 4 times. So you can see there's 4 layers there on track number 1. I'm going to record a 5th track and I'm going to do it wrong. I'm going to make a mess of it. And this is why peel exists. That sounds pretty awful. But what we can do is we can save this. So peel will take the last one down. Now what it'll also do is most loopers will have an undo and a redo. The difference with peel is it will take it back to, we've got 6 loops there because I stopped it a little bit late. So we're going to go take 6 and take 5 away, but we can also take 4, 3 and 2 away as well and just end up with number 1. So what we have to do is, and I'm going to turn it down a little bit. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually just hit this. And you can hear straight away that's gone. Imagine if you've made a recording, you hit stop, and you record again, then that recording is the last one on your looper. You can only get rid of that one, not this one. So this one is really, really useful. Peel is useful for literally peeling back each loop which is being overdubbed. Again, you can see you can do it over the 4 tracks. So I'm going to peel this right back to layer 1. until you've got nothing left. It's actually a really interesting way to end a song. So once you've built something up, you could actually peel it back down again. The next one I want to show you is bounce. So we're back to a Wicked game here, and we've got all 4 tracks used up. Maybe you want to add another one, and you want that separate from the 4 tracks. So we can bounce these tracks down. So we've got a function, we've got a bounce, and then it asks which tracks do you want to bounce first. So we're going to select them all. We're going to go that one, that one, that one, and that one. Maybe you've made a rhythmic track across the 4, and then you can bounce it down to 1 track. But in this instance, we've got the full track, and then we're going to click next. Then it says what we're going to do. We're going to bounce it as a loop, and we are going to bounce it down as a loop, and then we're going to ask for the bounce destination, which is track 1, and then it just says bounce. What it's going to do, it's going to figure that out, and it'll bounce it all down. Now it's all on track 1. Let me just show you that. There it is, and then track 2, track 3, and track 4 are now available to record on. The last function we've got in the list is clear, and it's very, very simple. All we're going to do is we're going to clear each track. So we can clear all tracks straight away if you want to. So if you want to keep the settings you've got and then clear the tracks, you can do that. Or you can clear individual tracks. So let's hit play. So once you've cleared the last track, I just want to show you, go back to function, that has taken away all the tracks. You can't get them back, so make sure you've got it saved before you clear it. Now the other functions I want to show you are ones we've been playing with already. So when we hit this one and go into function, this is the exit button. So we hit that, it'll take us back out again. The other one is tuner. So if we hit that and we hit tuner, we can have a tuner for the guitar. Obviously what it also does is it mutes all the inputs. So if I hit it now, you can't hear me when I do that, so I have to exit out of it. From the other 2, one of them we've already been playing with. So the other one is loop select. We've gone over that, where you can select the loops that you want as opposed to swiping down on the screen, so you can access all your different presets from your feet. And the final one is backing track. So when you hit backing track, this actually shows you any songs that are in the looper via an SD card or USB. This is completely independent to the looper. You must be aware of that. So you can't use the looper with the backing track as well at the moment. Maybe they might change that, who knows. But at the moment, it's a full backing track, which is very, very useful. Maybe you want to do a couple of songs that are full band songs and you've got the backing tracks for them. Maybe you've got a different kind of gig and you actually only take one setup. This is a great, great option. So you could play your looper with the looper if you want to. You have the effects. At the same time, you've got access to your effects with the loop, with the backing track as well. And then you can also have the backing track settings, so you can set the dB and the level of that. So I've got mine set at -10. So when you're in backing track mode, all the colors that are on the pedals associate to the colors that are on the screen. So green is play, red is stop. Got rewind, fast forward, go to the beginning and go to the end. So it's quite useful in that respect. You can still go to the backing track and hit play from your feet. You don't have to bend down to actually get the backing tracks going. Thank you very much for sticking around and looking at some of the more detailed effects of the Looperboard. If you do like this video, give it a thumbs up as it really helps the channel grow. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and if you have any comments or questions regarding the Looperboard, please put them in the comments section below. One thing I am going to be looking at in a future video is MIDI and MIDI controls. I've had a couple of people ask me about that. I don't actually use MIDI controls for my setup, but I'm going to have a dive into it and show you how it works in a future video. So for those who are looking for MIDI controls, please comment in the section below and hang tight, that video is coming. Thank you very much for watching.